Hey guys, how is everybody? We're getting ready to get this 359 build on the go. Trying to get some stuff off of the cases to where they'll fit in my oven. They don't have to get really hot for the bearings to slip in, but they do get warm enough to potentially, like say this chain brake handle could potentially melt. We don't really want that, so we are going to put it all down here in a bucket until we're ready to put the saw back together. Things like these clips should be fine. They got a metal insert, and plastic really doesn't melt up close to 300 degrees, so should be okay. I usually only heat them to about 250, and then the bearings will usually just fit right in. But if you'll remember, these are not the tightest fit cases in the world. The bearings kind of pressed out on the crankshaft. To my understanding, that's quite normal with this series of saw. We will remove this. It's kind of thin. Our air injection deflector, or whatever you want to call it. If it was a Johnser, I guess it could be turbo. If I can dig the dang screw out. Up here in the corner, it looks like. Gonna be a pretty interesting build. He's wanting it pretty damn warm. I'm perfectly fine with that, as long as squish is tight enough, we'll call it. If we can get squish around 30 thousandths or any lower than that would be great. I don't care to go pretty warm with them. But saws with, you know, crazy stupid loose squish, I usually leave the timing pretty conservative on them. We'll go hot in other areas, but you do give up a lot of grunt if you go to hacking up the exhaust roof, and you know you didn't have a lot of compression to start with. But I gotta get this one to the cleaner and get it cleaned up. I honestly got the crank has been in the freezer, I don't know, since the middle of the day yesterday, and I've got the bearings in my little oven right now, and it's kind of what I'm, you know, like I said, I'm getting these ready to go in the oven, getting some stuff off of them that may melt in the oven. We wouldn't want that. Looks like I do need to get something and drive the crank seals out, or just see if we can get them to pop out with a big screwdriver, or maybe our big needle nose here. Might have to drive them out. We're back. I usually just press this stuff out in my press. It doesn't hurt a thing. I see guys claiming you have to heat the cases before you can press the bearings out. It's just completely unneeded. I guess it doesn't hurt anything to do that. Maybe some kind of safe measure, but you guys have seen all the saws I've built here, and that ain't even a fraction of what I've done. You know, I don't video everything, never will, but you're not gonna hurt a thing just by taking your cases over to your shop press, getting them secure, and, you know, pressing the bearings out of them. What I've got to do now is get these things over in the parts cleaner and soaking, and I'll pause you guys and bring you back in a little bit. We got them clean. Okay guys, sorry if you couldn't see much of the bearings being slid on. I just kind of wanted to throw it in. You guys have seen me do it on other videos, but when I stopped the video, I thought that they had bound up on each side and didn't go all the way on. We even come over here and took a bearing driver, which sets against the inner race of the bearing. Never beat on the outer race on the bearing. If it's the inner race, it's just fine. I was like, well, hell, they're still not moving. What's up with this? So I got to thinking, I was like, well, that's about where they were at on the old crankshaft. This is the old one that had the broke end on it. Those bearings still felt really good, to be honest with you. But we'd pressed them out of a set of cases and didn't want to reuse a set of probably 20-plus-year-old bearings, I guess. I have no idea how old that saw is, but I'm assuming it's over a decade old anyway. But I got this other crank out and got to looking at it, and this is the one that's got the grimy filling rod end. I honestly think there's still some needles kind of stuck in it, and you know, we just didn't want to use it in this build. It has a step on the lobe to space the bearing out from the crank lobe. I've seen it on some saws before, but it's never been that exaggerated on one side. But whatever it is, what it is, I guess I should have paid attention to the new crankshaft, but it was froze. I was working with red hot bearings, and it's one of them deals you just kind of got to grab it out of the freezer and take it over and get your bearings on. But while it's heating up, we cleaned the cases and we've got them prepped and ready. The next step in this build tomorrow, I guess, hopefully tomorrow evening, we're going to get in here and get these cases. Are small enough. I think I can set them both in the oven. I don't think it's going to take a lot of heat to get them to go back together, get the bearings and crank to drop in. We'll get them warmed up and have our gasket and our case bolts laying ready, and see if we can get the bottom end of it together. And I've got to actually work on the handle a little bit. It's missing an interlock, and if you'll remember, the AV springs just kind of fell off of it. We got to do a little work to that, and maybe we can get the handle assembly on it, and then maybe the next video after that we can kind of get the cylinder on it and go over port timing and stuff, and you know, hopefully I can get into some port work on it and get this thing knocked out by the middle of next week or something. But anyway, I quit running my mouth. Not much of a video, but it's a video. Just to show where we're at on this. I know I've done the tear down video probably 2 weeks ago. I don't really remember. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Everybody stay safe, and y'all have a great weekend.